Hi, friends. It should come as no surprise to you that this episode's sound is a little bit wonky, and I am fully believing now that there is something else going on. Like we say, the only explanation is paranormal. Because we have tested everything. We have tried everything. Everything works great, and what it's doing is some really, truly weird shit. Both Zoom and Audacity got goofed up, so it has nothing to do with the internet because the Audacity is on my computer only. And Zoom has never done this before, but what it did is it garbled a bunch of my words. Note, this is only on my track. AP's and Megan's tracks are fine. Only on mine. So, of course, Zoom garbled only the important words. It didn't garble any of my ums or anything I need to cut out. It only garbled important words. And so I cut what I said out in places where I could. But there were places where I said something that the others replied to, and I couldn't cut that out. So I am going to do little voiceovers of what I actually said. I will also note that Audacity garbled them too, the same words. And also what Audacity did is it warped my whole track so that when I connected or when I synced mine, AP's, and Megan's tracks, they're all fine for about 3 minutes, and then mine gets stretched, and so then they're out of sync again. And so I spent a full day trying to resync everything. At every 3 minutes of editing, I had to stop and resync, and I finally was tired of fighting, and so we are using the Zoom audio, and I will just be inserting the words that it garbled. Hi, Ghosty fam. Welcome to the Activity Continues podcast. I'm Amy, and my co-host, Amy P., aka AP, and Megan. We are soul sisters who usually recap episodes of The Dead Files, but they are off now. We don't know if they're coming back, so we're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants. So today we're recording our season finale and our last show of the year. And we're going to take a break over the holidays, and we will be back January 4th with a new season, possibly a new format, at least for a little while until we know what's going on with the show, The Dead Files, that is, and hopefully some surprise guests. I'm not going to tell you who is a potential yet, but it's pretty exciting. Megan, do you want to tell us a little bit more about what we're going to do today?
I sure do. Hi, everyone. It's Megan here. So today we are recapping the last year, so 2023, and the last season. So 2023 actually included part of season 3. So basically the first half of the year was season 3, and then season 4 started June 8th, and that was episode 68. So if you want to re-listen to the whole season, and why wouldn't you want to? You can start with 68, and that's also when Amy P, aka AP, officially joined our team, so she could yell at us in person instead of over her headphones and just text us furiously. Hey, AP.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, it's been an exciting year since June. Lots of stuff has happened throughout the whole year, personally, professionally, and podcasty.
Podcasty is a new word, by the way.
Yes, podcasty is definitely a new word.
Mm-hmm.
And just excited to kind of go through all the stuff that we've gone through. You guys have been with me through some of my toughest times in the last year, including the loss of my dog and the loss of my grandmother recently. So you guys have all grown with me. It's pretty awesome.
It's been a year.
And I use guys, but everybody, theys,
Inclusive.
He's, pets. And if somebody joins me, I have my labs out because one is a little obsessed with me. Just picture Regina George in Mean Girls. And why are you so obsessed with me? I ask
Or
him that
Mariah
every day.
Carey.
Yeah.
Why are you so obsessed with me? In the words of M, we could say he, she's, theys, and gays.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody and everybody.
Everybody with a heartbeat.
Unless you're Republican. Just kidding.
Hey, we don't hate Republicans. We
No.
just hate Tea Party Trumpers.
Yeah.
And we don't hate them either. We just can't tolerate them.
So this might go as part of the content warning. And as for content warning, just read the show notes. We have no idea what is going to come out of our mouths. It is as Amy said, fly by the seat of your pants. So I guess buckle up and let's go.
To fly by the seat of your pants, you have to wear pants.
Oh, true.
Just kidding. I'm wearing pants.
Well, I'm wearing pants, so
I'm wearing leggings. Does that count?
yes. Oh, me too. I'm wearing leggings. So
same.
Oh, yay.
hashtag triplets, because I can't say twinsies because there's more than two. I got the cutest dress from some site, I don't remember, and I need maroon tights for it because it's like a cream color with maroon leaves and it's very fall-y. So
Nice.
I need because I can't wear black because it just wouldn't work.
Right.
So I need to find some maroon
I will
tights
tell
or
you,
maroon leggings.
If you Duluth Trading Company leggings
Okay.
are fantastic. They're going to be a little bit pricier, but
They're so good.
I'm wearing a pair right now. I've had several pairs for years, and literally throughout the pandemic, that is all I wore is pants.
Yeah, me too.
For working. Jeans like once a week just to make sure they still fit. But these
Duluth
are hiking.
Trading Company is so good, but they're pricey. But you get what you pay for, you
exactly.
know? So
this is something I've been learning as I get, into my later 30s here of buy the thing that buy the quality. Otherwise you're buying quantity.
Yeah. And I sometimes, with leggings anyway, I buy the cheap shit on Amazon, but the ones that I found recently are so comfortable. They're super soft. They're like $12 a piece, maybe 15 at the most, which I don't think is that much. And they're so comfortable. They're super high waisted. They come all the way up to my bra. So I feel like I'm wearing like a slimming thing all the way down, Yes. And they have pockets and they feel like butter. They're super soft. Nice. So I love those, and I'll still buy those. But I would definitely buy some good ones that are long lasting. Do they have pockets, the Duluth Trading ones?
The ones that I have on now don't, but they do have other ones that do.
Okay.
And I have a couple other pairs that,
yeah.
And then Honey Love.
Oh.
Those are the shapewear type ones.
Yes, and I've heard Let's Go to Court advertise for them.
I have 3 pairs, and I also have 4 of the tank tops.
Okay.
We should see if they want to sponsor us.
Seriously, because I wear those tank tops.
We did reach out to them
over a regular bra most of the time for work.
Nice.
Because they go under everything. So I have just multiple colors so that I can wear them with everything. And they're just because I like things that also tuck in a little bit on with jeans or other pants. So
Amy, I don't know, a truck just went by in front of your face or if that was a ghosty, but something just went right by.
There are cars out there.
Okay. But, there's another one.
There was another one.
It must be cars.
Okay.
It must be cars.
I'll try it.
Okay. Darn it. I think maybe it was a ghost. No, it's fine. It's fine if you want to leave it.
It's just regular people.
One of the things that I wanted to go over real quick, and now I have to get my phone because I didn't memorize all this. Where did my phone go? I'm a mess this. Wow.
You guys, we usually record like at night. And
it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
10 in the morning on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're going to be a little chaotic.
I'm kind of loving it though.
Then I'm like, actually, I have all day now then to edit. So I might actually get it out in time. Okay. So, Scott. Oh, first of all, I didn't tell you guys this last time because I forgot. We had a ghost tour. Well, it was an underground vaults tour kind of thing.
In Scotland.
in Scotland.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry. I forgot to.
I was very confused. I was like,
Don't worry, I
forgot
knew where
to-
she was going because I've done that one.
Yeah.
Or similar one.
And so what I wanted to do is travel tips. I don't know if I even mentioned that. I had a few travel tips that we did out in person when we recorded the Britney episode that we never aired.
That we never
So-
aired because it was
right.
the sound, which is a shame because damn, we had some banging jokes on that one.
We did. We did. On the other hand, we were also really mean. So I feel like we shouldn't be that mean. But anyway, so during this ghost tour, the tour lady, she had two jokes for us.
Okay.
One of them, they're the first one. Okay. Why didn't the ghost go to the party?
He had no body to go with.
Exactly. You probably know the next one too then.
Okay.
Why did he
Well,
go
if
to
you
the
know
party?
it, don't say it because I want to try.
Okay.
Sorry,
What?
dad jokes.
She's just too smart.
Why did he go to the party the following year?
What?
Why did he go to the party the following year?
Did he find somebody?
Yeah, who did he find?
I don't know.
A girlfriend.
Oh,
No, I haven't
that's
heard
a
that
good
one.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Why didn't the skeleton jump off the cliff?
Why did he?
Didn't he?
Didn't he? Because he had no guts.
Correct.
Ah, I love it.
Ew, I hate your
I love
shirt.
it. Packers.
Am I off the podcast now?
Go to Wisconsin.
Go to Wisconsin.
Well, I have a travel suggestion. If you go through the MSP airport, so go to the Twins Cafe. It's in the C terminal. Best mimosas there.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we went there. I remember before Nashville a few years ago on a girls' trip, and like the woman, it was literally between the four glasses, split a bottle and opened a second bottle, like wafted the orange juice across it, and then it tops with a shot of Grand Marnier.
Ooh,
Yep.
that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was there last week when I was headed out for work, and I was like, you know what? It's the night. I don't have to drive later. So I had one, and I was like, just as good as I remember.
Oh, yum. That's a good idea. Get Grand Marnier for those.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Okay, so travel tips. This was from my trip to Scotland. We did not go to the fishing village that we were going to because there was a rain of biblical proportions, the news was calling it. So they called it pub weather. So we went and just sat in a pub, and we went to the White
Which
Hart
honestly sounds
Inn.
delightful.
I know, it was really nice. It was so cute. We were sitting right by the window. The rain was coming down, and we were in the White Hart pub, which is they say it's the oldest pub in the world. I don't think it is, but it's like from 1400 or something like
That's
that.
old though. That's
That's
like,
old. It's fucking old.
Americans, we cannot comprehend that because
know.
we
No.
have.
We feel
And I
like it was just dirt.
I do
Right,
have a
back
fun
then.
fact about the names of bars and things or pubs that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So being the White Hart as a rabbit or a hare, not necessarily it's usually an animal and a color because people were illiterate back in the day. And
Mhm.
so the signs always
Oh.
had a picture of what it was. So that's why it was always described as white hare or white
Mhm.
hart or any
Purple
of those
pig.
kinds.
The Red
Yep.
Bull.
Yep.
There should be a pub with a Red Bull. That's a really good name.
Yep. So
There
there's
should be.
all of those that was wise because then people knew what you were talking about, even if they couldn't read the
read.
sign.
Mhm.
That's fun.
Cool.
See, you're so full of fun facts.
I know. I love it.
FFAP, fun fact, Amy. AP.
Yep. So they canceled our plane. They canceled our train, and then we were going to get a bus, but then we were afraid to be stranded in this village and not be able to get back, which we probably would have. So it's a good thing we didn't go. But we, of course, had already paid for the Airbnb, and so they did refund us the cleaning fee because we never touched the place. So, and I didn't expect him to refund any more. We canceled the day we were supposed to be there,
Right.
'cause
Yeah.
we couldn't help it. So if we had travel insurance, we might have gotten that reimbursed. So my tip is get travel insurance. I debated about it back and forth. Greg did not want to do it. And so I said, fine. And so we kind of got screwed.
Well, who has the
Anyway.
upper hand now?
Yeah. I told him next time I am making all
Yeah.
of the arrangements and we are getting travel insurance. Or we're just going to use a friend of mine who's a travel agent.
But
Just let her handle all of it.
But what were the seats that you got on your flight over, my dear?
Oh, yes. We did splurge a little bit. I didn't know that Greg was doing this. He said he's not going to fly coach. And I'm like, okay, who are you, Mr. Movie Star?
Which is main cabin for the rest of us
Yeah.
schlubs.
Coach, economy, steerage, I call it. So
Hey, I'm flying that when I go to California in February.
We all
I'm
do.
poor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if my not stepmother, thank God, no, my mother-in-law had not passed away and given us some money, we would not have
Yeah.
traveled that way. And I doubt we'll ever travel that way again because it was highly pricey.
Oh, yes.
We did first class, business class, whatever you want to call it. I think it was business class. It said on the ticket, but it was Delta One. And so we each had our own like pod kind of, we were right next to each other. Turns out we were in each other's seats because the lady kept calling me Mrs. Hetzler and calling him Mr. Lotsberg, which I found hilarious. But
did you feel like super superior when you boarded before everybody else?
No, because there were still people in front of us. We weren't the first, I mean.
But do they board business class first?
They do. There's still so many people in there that,
yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't say I felt superior.
Well, that joke didn't land, so maybe cut
sorry.
that out.
I didn't know that was supposed to be a joke.
No, that's fine.
You were really asking? No, but so yeah, we had our own little. Well, everybody gets their own little TV screen as long as you're in any plane that has a TV screen. But you push a button, it pops out, comes toward you.
God.
Yeah. We had big enough seats, like they were super wide, and then you pushed a button and you could go lay all the way down flat. Except that I put on my carry-on and stuff over in that corner, so I couldn't recline my bed the whole way. But at least it was a good recline. Yeah, and I was quite comfortable. Yes, it was very nice. And we got champagne.
That's awesome. Oh.
The food was not very good.
Well, but we did do. Food, I mean, what do you expect?
I know, but we did KLM on the way back, and we also did their first highest
KLM
class or
is
whatever.
Good.
KLM's food was so good. I was like, I want the recipe for this salad. It was so good. Delta's food, not. KLM also had a nicer lounge. Their Sky Lounge was like 3 levels. It had free food, free booze.
Wow.
We didn't partake in either of those. We should have. But okay. So yeah, that's the flight. The best macaroni and cheese in Edinburgh, to my knowledge, is at the Last Drop, a pub in Grassmarket. It's right where they used to hang people, right in the square.
Great.
When they back in history. I had it 5 years ago. I thought about it for the last 5 years. And I went to try it, and it was just as good as I remember. It's just like the noodles are soft but not mushy. The cheese is delicious. They put like a layer of cheese over the top and brown it a little.
Broil it. Oh God, I love
it. Was so
good broiled cheese.
We had it twice. That's the only dish I've had twice. I had twice when we were there this time. We also had their Cullen skink, which is a smoked haddock chowder.
Yep.
And
I don't know what any of those words are.
It's, well, you know what smoked means, right?
Yes, and chowder.
Haddock is fish, so you probably wouldn't like it. However, it didn't taste fishy to me, and I even ate the big chunks of fish, and I do not like fish that tastes like fish. But smoked fish is delicious, and Amy knows this because she makes it. Yep. And the Cullen skink was very, very good. It's a creamy.
I had that when we were in Killen last year.
Yeah.
With Iron Brew, and I freaking love Iron Brew.
Really? I got a bottle of it, and I drank like 2 sips, and I just put it back in the fridge, and then we threw it away before we left. It's too sweet for me.
I really liked the Iron Brew, but it's because I didn't find it necessarily too sweet, but it's in that range of like, did you ever have Verner's ginger ale? Yeah. It reminds me of like something like that, where it's got more of there's a strong taste to it.
Yeah, it is a strong taste. That's for sure. And it's almost, I can't detect what the flavors are. it's orange in color.
Mhm.
So that tells my brain it's to be orange flavored, but I don't think it's orange flavored. It's almost bubble gum or something.
It makes me think of like Aperol, the way that Aperol is like that aperitif
that
like
little
flavor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just,
okay.
Because it's not distinctly one flavor.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's definitely something mixed. We did again to the ghost tour. I would recommend doing them, except that it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours of just standing. And I was not the only one that was like super uncomfortable. I was like leaning up against the wet, gross rock because I was so tired. And there were other people around that were just crouching down and like holding their back and they weren't all old. It was young people too. So I would say, just make sure you pick one that you're ready to stand for 2 hours to listen. It was good. It wasn't scary. It was interesting. But our host was so dramatic and then the ghost came from over there. And so it was silly.
Did you get the story of the Mackenzie poltergeist and go into the Covenanters prison and that sort of stuff? Oh my God, those stories.
That's not the one we did. I know. I wanted to do that one.
So we did the same group, City of the Dead, but we did ours was all above ground, and just the stories about the Mackenzie poltergeist and is it truly Mackenzie or was it potentially a relative of his? And he was called Bloody Mackenzie because what he did to the Covenanters, the prison. So that area that's blocked off, they have it gated, which by the way, Greyfriars Kirkyard is right next to a school. So like kids walk through the kirkyard to go to school every day.
I love that kirkyard.
Wow. Yeah. But the Covenanters prison, like, for months, they laid face down in the ground. And if they got up or anything, they could be shot.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. And just the history of it. Generally Spooky has a really great episode on Greyfriars Kirkyard and on the Mackenzie poltergeist. So I highly recommend Generally Spooky history.
Put them in the show notes. Cool. Yeah, no, but the Mackenzie poltergeist is apparently at the Last Drop pub where they have the good mac and cheese. I sat right next to a sign that said Mackenzie poltergeist is here. And the menus are sitting on like a wooden like bookshelf kind of thing. Bookshelf's not the right word. What do you call it when like
bookend?
No, it's like when you have a book that you have a stand, a book stand where you put it on it when it's open so you can read it, kind of a thing.
I loved watching you put that all together.
Is that right? Book stand?
I believe so.
2 words. It's a book and it's standing on something. Could that be what it's called? I don't know. But anyway, so the menu was sitting on that and it flew off the table and landed on the ground. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was just that we wiggled the table or bumped it or something. But we were like, it's a ghost. It has to be paranormal.
Greg wasn't.
No, I think he's actually the one that said it was the ghost. Because he likes to make fun of me. I'm
surprised that he went on a ghost tour.
He loves that stuff. He loves it. Doesn't believe a lick of it, but he loves it.
Most of those tours, though, they provide a lot of the history as to help you make the connection as to why potentially this might be here. Door County in Wisconsin, if you ever head out there, they've got a haunted trolley tour, but it's not like you're going through a haunted house or anything like that. They take you to places where things have happened and it's around a lot of water. So of course we know water is one of those things that attracts energy for spiritual beings. So
yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to do that sometime. Okay, one of my goals was to see a Highland cow or a shaggy coo. I did not. Spoiler alert. But one of our cab drivers told us there is a place called Preston Fields, and it's an inn and a restaurant, very pricey, that has like a courtyard, but it's huge, that has shaggy coos in it. So I tried to get a hold of them to find out if they really did, because I didn't want to go spend like $500 on a tea if I wasn't going to see a cow. And they didn't get back to me in time before we left. So, but they do have one cow. They had 2. They had a mother and her baby, and the mother passed away like a week before I had asked about it. So mother passed away. Her name was Toffee. And her daughter's name is Treacle. Chickle is still there. So they also have a cat and what was it?
And they were older though, right? It wasn't like a calf.
Oh,
they're both, you have a cow and a heifer.
I think so. Yeah. The mom was 17 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she wasn't a
spring
one.
chicken.
Right. And I don't know how old Treacle is. But anyway, so we didn't. Oh, and a peacock. So they have a cat, a peacock, and a shaggy coo.
I'm surprised the cat didn't go after the peacock, but maybe the
peacock's probably 3 times the size of the cat. Peacocks are big.
Fun fact, we often call cow for all cows, which is really cattle because cow is female, bull is male, or steer, and heifer is an unbred female or a female who hasn't had a calf yet.
A baby? Okay.
Yep.
Good to know.
Steer are bulls that are castrated.
Baby.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good.
Baby.
So my number one travel tip, I won't talk about Scotland anymore, but there's one more thing I want to say after this, but first thing that really pissed me off when I got home and was looking at my pictures and trying to make things out of them on websites where you can put them on t-shirts or whatnot, is that I had gotten a new phone about 3 months before, and it did not have the same camera settings. And so the camera, it was not set on the highest quality photo. Man. So my pictures were not big enough to do very much with. And
that's
so
really shitty.
My tip is check your camera settings, make sure they are on the biggest, best setting, even though they're going to take up more space on your phone. Bring a plug or whatever so you can put them on a laptop or put them in the cloud or something, but make sure your camera is taking good pictures. The other one is that I highly, highly recommend, if you're going to Edinburgh, to go to the National Museum of Scotland because it was amazing. We spent like 7 hours there and it wasn't enough. So
wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So cool.
I do love a good museum.
Yeah. Yeah. There was so much. We decided we were going to finally leave because we were hungry. And so we were trying to find the exit. And I said, I felt like I was in IKEA because once you decide you leave, you can't. I mean, you have to walk through like a maze of a whole bunch of things before you can figure out how to get out of there. And that's how we were. And I kept turning around and I'm like, we didn't see this room. Oh my God, look at all that. I want to come back. And we never did go back because we just were too busy and frankly, fucking tired. We were walking like 12,000 feet a day, or feet. Steps. Same thing. And my normal goal is 5,000, but I never reached that. My normal steps is usually about 2,000 to 3,000 a day. So that's quite a jump to 12 to 13. So, it was a really tiring trip, but lovely, delightful. I can't wait to go back.
Nice.
Good.
So, that's that on Scotland. Let's see. Oh, I have a funny story about my mom. Does anybody else have a story they want to tell in between? Because I've been yammering a lot.
That's okay.
No, I'm just sitting down for story time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I took my mom on Thursday to get her a COVID shot. And so we were toddling into the Walgreens. She shuffles when she walks. She shuffles, just shuffles. And she can't pick up her feet.
Every day I'm shuffling.
And then she always says, I can't walk like this. And then she does it.
And then she does how she can't walk.
Yeah. Just like, I can't put my hands up over my head. I can't put my
arms up like this. Okay.
So she's toddling in and she, we get to the curb where she has to step up onto the curb. And I said, can you get that curb? And I put my arm out and she grabbed my arm and we got up there. So we're toddling into the store and the door's open and there's a lady standing, getting ready to leave. And she's got a mask on, so I can't see her full face, but I can see her eyes, and she is like, just delight is in her eyes, and she's staring at us. And as we're walking in, my mom says, because I had just gotten home from the hospital, that's another story. I won't go into if we don't need to, but I was in the hospital for a day and I had just been home. So my mom is talking about that to me, and she goes, so did they ever figure out why you're so hot? That just made me laugh. And I said, why I'm so hot? Well, thank you. But no, I wasn't hot. I had high blood pressure. And that's what the lady was. I could see she was laughing at us or with us, whatever, because we were both laughing. And then she just locked eyes with me and she said, you two are so beautiful. And I went, oh, and she said, you're going to be just fine. And then she walked away, and I was like,
That's
cool.
yeah.
oh, it was so sweet.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
Restores
So-
your faith in humanity a little bit.
Yeah. And then after she left, my mom goes, what'd she say?
And there goes the moment. Oh, Barbara.
Oh,
You
Bob. I call her
crazy
toddler
lady.
Barbie now because
Yes.
she eats nothing but candy. She's a child with a credit card, so she eats nothing but candy. We need to welcome new patron Shannon.
Yay!
She found us on the Dead Files chat, where we were for a little while talking about the podcast. A lot of people were asking, and how do I find it? Not so we have gotten a lot more new
Mhm.
people listening. Our stats have gone up, so that's great.
Welcome,
so tell your friends.
Shannon.
Yes, welcome
We're so
Shannon.
excited.
Hey, Shannon.
And then
But wait, there's more.
there's more. We had a new 5-star review. So it says, like meeting up with pals. That's the headline.
Yeah.
All the things we wanted to know about the Dead Files and more. We are in the UK and watch on Discovery Plus. We really enjoy. Many thanks, girls, Lyn and Liz.
Woohoo.
So
Welcome.
then, thank you, Lyn and Liz. So then I reached
Yes.
out to them. I saw that Lyn was following us on Instagram, so I reached out to her, or she sent me a message, actually, I think. And they live in Wales.
Cool.
Oh my God. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
I know. And
Doesn't Wales have like the longest city name in the entire world?
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
does it?
Oh, it's so many consonants. It's
Huh.
so long.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. So I nudged her and said, hey, she said, I just want to talk. I feel like I want to talk to you guys like in the moment all the time, which is the same thing Shannon said.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, why don't you come on over to Patreon, because we're having our Patreon
Chit-chat.
holiday happy hour pretty soon. And if you come before then, you can join us. And so they did.
Mm-hmm.
So Lyn and Liz and Shannon, all new members of
We're so
our
excited to have you guys.
Ghosty
Oh
fam.
my gosh.
I know. I'm so excited. We really, the coolest people
Mhm.
are in our Patreon.
Honestly,
really.
I don't think
Not a
we've
dud
had
in
one.
the whole group.
No, I don't think we've had one person where we're like, God, we wish they hadn't joined. Like they're all
Never.
amazing. They're
Yeah.
all so unique, and
Yeah.
we just love them all.
Yeah. And they're like, we have some witches, we have some pagans, we have
I
some
know.
mediums. We have, it's a really fun group of
Mhm.
so far only
And
ladies. but
respectful.
Yes.
Oh, it is so respectful.
Yes.
Yep.
All,
Which is big.
Mhm.
humanity friendly and LGBTQIA friendly and all of that.
Mhm.
So,
Inclusive. We're very
yes,
inclusive.
very inclusive. So Shannon did send a story to us that I want to read, and then she did attach a video which I sent to you guys already.
Mhm.
So here's Shannon's story. I've been telling my boyfriend his house has spooks ever since I'd been coming here in late 2015. My daughter and I moved here in with him in February 2017 with our cat. My cat's name is Artemis. Remember that.
God,
It'll
I
be
love it.
important
I
in a
love
minute.
it so much.
We have had many experiences of activity in the house, but I don't think he really believed me until he heard this EVP. Artemis is in the hallway frequently, sometimes looking up and meowing and whatnot. I took a video of her in January 2019 while my daughter was at school. I thought she was doing it because she missed my daughter, but when I played it back days later, I realized I'd caught an EVP. I've attached the video. Listen at full volume and see if you hear it.
I don't want to.
I honestly didn't hear anything except the cat meowing. I heard something. The cat meows 3 times. And at the third time, I heard something that sounded like a voice at the same time. But I even tried like taking out the audio and amplifying it in my Audacity. And I couldn't find anything. But Shannon says that some people hear things, some people don't. But what she thinks it was is a voice saying Artemis. So
Yeah. That's spooky.
I know. Okay, so we did all that. Okay, I'm done. I have all my things. Anybody else?
I have something exciting. So I met with my two crafty friends and we came up with a name for our site, and I'm going to be researching websites that we can build on. So that, because that one of them Sam does woodwork, and then Kathy does the wire wrapping. So hopefully that's coming in 2024.
Cool.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And we are calling it Gaia Collective.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gaia. Gaia.
After the creator in Greek mythology. Because it's all very like earthy stuff, like clay and stones and all of that. So
cool.
Very
fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully that's coming in 24.
Awesome. If you're a regular listener, you know we love our 3 Spirit drinks.
They are the non-alcoholic spirit drinks that are taking the world by storm.
3 Spirit is a range of 3 distinct drinks, each with its own unique flavor and effect.
The Livener is a refreshing and invigorating drink that is perfect for starting your day or night.
The Social Elixir is a smooth and sophisticated drink that's perfect for sharing with friends.
And the Nightcap is a calming and relaxing drink that's perfect for winding down before bed.
All 3 drinks are made with plant-based ingredients and are free from alcohol, gluten, and sugar. They are also vegan and ethically sourced.
So, whether you're looking for a delicious and refreshing drink to enjoy on its own, or a sophisticated non-alcoholic alternative to cocktails, 3 Spirit is the perfect choice for you.
Try 3 Spirit today and discover the difference. Visit us.3spiritdrinks.com and use the promo code The Activity Continues for 15% off your entire order.
Cheers!
That was the best one yet.
We took a little potty break right here, and I would have just cut all of this out, except I thought that Megan's discussion about potty chips was hilarious, and I thought you might think so too. So,
in case you were wondering, my 3-year-old brought me some tortilla chips in the bathroom in case I wanted a little snack. So,
that was nice of him.
Very nice of him. Yeah. I was like, thank you. Thanks so much for my potty chips. And then yesterday he was helping me clean for his party.
Oh, yeah.
And I was doing dishes and he had a spatula and he was just like moving the water. I thought he was just moving the water around. So I'm like, thanks for helping, buddy. And he's like moving the water around, and then he'd disappear every now and then he'd come back and move the water around.
No.
And I'm like, what are you doing? I look down and he's dipping the spatula in the cat water, and that's what he's cleaning the countertop with. And I said, thank you so much for helping to clean, buddy. That's very kind of you. And then I took lots of chemicals to the countertop to make sure that the cat saliva was not on the countertop.
So okay, episode 47, Amusement Park for the Dead, was our first episode of 2023. I did not write down the date that we aired it, but that was still season 3. And so I'm just like, I just looked up like fun facts.
Yeah.
So what I have down as, because we were talking about best and worst, and I'd rather talk about the bad shit first and then the good stuff, are all the recording problems we had. And I was talking about earlier, we might even be having those today. We'll find out when I try to edit this.
And right now, this is the first year that we've really had this many. We didn't have any problems. We'd have some now and then. Yeah. But this is like, we've lost episodes a couple of times because of how bad the problems were. Yeah. And it's nothing like Amy did. It's just, I always
joke that technology hates me. And this is only solidifying how
my God.
Because it really feels like since I joined, there's a lot more technical issues.
Well, I'm glad you said it. No, I'm just kidding.
What did you say?
I said, I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to have to say it, but I'm totally kidding.
Yeah. No, it's obviously not anything Amy has done. No. In fact, one time it was absolutely 100% my fault. I thought I was hitting the record button and I was hitting the stop recording button because we were goofing around so much with testing. We're recording, we're stopping, we're recording, we're stopping, we're recording, we're stopping. So I'm like, okay, let's go. Boom. I hit the button.
God.
We do an hour and a half. And then I hit stop and actually hit record. And I'm like, God damn it.
Thank God you had put your phone up.
My reaction in that one, though, like you see mine and Megan's reactions.
I know that was
totally
maybe
different.
Should go in the best of list because that was fucking hilarious. And I was editing that video and I was cackling so hard. Greg's like, what are you doing? Because as soon as I hit the button and I go, oh, Amy just throws her head back and
laughs.
And Megan goes, what?
I even had to put my glasses on. That's how like serious I was. I was like, wait.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was super funny. And like you said, Megan, thank God we had at least my cell phone sitting over in the corner recording the whole thing because that's the audio we ended up having to use because we weren't doing Audacity or anything. Or maybe we did the video from that and then we used the Audacity audio. But we were all in the same room, so the Audacity audio is probably shut as well.
Probably.
But anyway, someday we'll figure that shit out.
Yeah, I was going to say one of my notes was lost recordings or forgetting to hit record or microphone issues or other tech issues.
Tech. And then also, this is also my fault, but I was trying to find the best quality, lowest price option for a recording. And I kept hearing, we had been using Zoom. I used Zoom for my other podcasts. Megan and I used Zoom for the whole first year.
Yep.
And no issues with it, except that I kept hearing all these other good things that have other options for you to do. And the recording, when I record on Zoom, it's recording on my computer and then it saves it to the cloud. When we record on all these other ones we tried, Zencaster, Riverside, and Squadcast, it records everybody on their own computer so that if I'm glitching and you guys are seeing me glitch, it's not going to do that on the final one because it's only doing that over the airwaves. It's not doing that on my computer. So it means that you get 3 really good quality tracks to use. So I wanted to try out all those other ones and I did. And we're back to Zoom because every one of them fucked up in some way.
You know what? The grass isn't always greener on the other side.
No.
Right.
No.
But that's why we try it,
Exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is too, we didn't always try it on an episode. The first thing we tried, I think, was Zencaster, and Amy and I got on. Megan, you were on a vacation or you were sick or something.
Yeah.
Amy and I got on and just chatted. We record just to see how it went. And we were just talking, not even about the podcast. And I tested it and it sounded great and it looked great. And then we did it for our actual episode. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's the only explanation is
paranormal.
Yeah, it has to be.
But you know what? The best thing about all of this is the learning experience of going through it. And one of the things that I wanted to note that I put in my notes is, Amy, just your brilliance of going through all of this stuff and your patience of going through all of that. Because
patience sometimes.
Well, if it was me, I would have thrown things through windows several times already.
Oh, it's pretty close.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't take enough credit
I
for all
probably
the
would have
stuff
just
that you
started
do.
crying.
Oh, I did that a few times. You didn't see all the tears. Well, thank you, Amy. Yeah. That's sweet. I love doing it. I love it. I love editing. I love coming up with stuff. I love doing this part, the chit chatting and all that. I love all of it. It's just there's some frustrating things when things don't work, but that's fine. Yeah. You learn, like you said, it's a learning process. And it's fun. If anybody,
that's what we always said. You learn the most when you lose. So
that's true. Absolutely. If everything works 100% of the time, you would never learn a damn thing.
Correct.
Words to live by. Yep. That should be on a t-shirt.
I got to get going on making some of those t-shirts. Hearing all this, press fans, listeners, if anybody wants to raise their hand and take over our social media, I would happily hand it over to you because I am fucking tired of it. I like answering messages from people. I do not like coming up with
a post every single day or 2 posts every single day about what's going on with the show. That part is Boresville to me. But anyway, so yeah, that's that. We did have, I wanted to know one that we did that actually the sound was not so bad. And it was the one when it was a listener story, episode 81. And we were all huddled around my dining room table.
Yes.
And we were kissing our microphones because we were afraid of the sound, which worked, by the way.
Yeah. That was funny.
I know. And that was a good episode. That's when we first read Eddie's story.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Eddie, Sweet Pea. Maybe I'll see if he wants to join our Patreon. Yeah.
You can join for free, Eddie, and just partake in our chats.
That's right. That's right. However you
You
want
don't
to do
need
it.
to pay us any money.
That's right. Do you have either of you have any other downers?
No, I think that was
didn't go well?
the biggest one to me.
We did get our first, I think, and only 1-star review. Wasn't that last year?
Yep.
Yeah,
that was this year. Yeah. This past year.
I mean,
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Was
Too much
another
chit-chat.
podcast where people chat too much.
Which is like what
That's
a
kind of what
podcast
podcast
is.
is.
So
I get it.
that'd be like me being like, oh, these singers sing too much. It's just too much. Stop.
I think they just wanted to hear about the Dead Files and not about us. And
So then
if you don't
fast
like
forward
us,
to
there's
the
no
Dead
point listening
Files.
to our show because
Right.
we just talk about us. I mean, we talk about the Dead Files too when the Dead Files is doing something, but when they're not, now.
And to be fair, that person probably would not have a similar viewpoint on a lot of things that we talk about. One thing, not good, bad, or otherwise, but I noticed, I felt like I feel like it got a little more cynical throughout the year, but I think because we followed the full season of the Dead Files and we caught on to themes that went through the whole thing. We caught on to phrases that were used consistently, where it just kind of like was, obviously we know there's some scripting to all of this. You know, any reality show has script. If you don't believe that it has a script at all,
You're a silly goose.
Everything has a script.
Sorry to break it
even
to you.
reality shows, even Big Brother, even
We
Bachelor.
have scripts.
They
all have scripts.
they reshoot scenes and they do different things, and it may not, it's a guide on some of that script as well. But we heard Dream House, sunk everything I've owned into it.
My marriage is
on the rocks, or we can't leave.
Or we're gonna fight.
Yes, all of those things, and then poltergeist portals. It's just some of those things
and
were
Paula's.
both and Paula's.
Oh my!
But that was, those were things that Amy and Cindy both came. They have their readings and whatnot, but it's almost like what got through the screening to get to these episodes.
Well, I think a lot of what you're talking about is production, and I think the production crew is not the same production crew.
No,
you can
and
tell.
so you can tell that they're just phoning it in. Sorry, guys, but that's what it feels like. It feels like nobody gives a shit anymore.
Well, and it just like it felt. I think Amy, you and I were just chatting about this yesterday because we didn't want to bother Megan at her son's birthday party, and
I think you mean the party of the year.
Yes, exactly.
The social event of the season.
Star-studded, I heard. Yep.
It was very star-studded, yes.
Got those plastic sticky glow-in-the-dark stars that you put on the walls?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. But it just seemed like, what was the screening process for some of these? Because I saw one of the episodes and I sent it to Amy that I think we should watch and do a recap on. Yep. In the future, because somebody had talked about it in the Dead Files group and how they refused to say the name of the location and all of this stuff because they didn't want to give them publicity because it was very evident that that's what that person wanted. But then what was the last episode of the season this year?
Yeah, same thing.
And the one before that with Brittany and her
there was
dad's
like
book.
3 or 4 this year where the person was self-promoting.
It was
and didn't give a shit about the ghost.
It took away from the what's the word I'm looking for?
Genuineness.
Yeah.
There's another word that starts with a D.
Like the quality of the show. It seems like the show is compromising by having these people on when all they're looking for is publicity, and when before it was we genuinely want to help. So whether that was the goal or not, I don't know, but that's what it feels like.
And I think they do want to help.
Yeah, I think I think there's a line. I think there's some that are like, oh, this will make good drama. This will make good content. And others were, yes, this is definitely going to help. Like we know that with like Donnellan, stuff helped there.
Yes.
But then we see things like the final episode at the Octagon Hall, and it was more of, just be careful about what you're doing. And, and
they're not.
No.
And they're not. And they got their name out. They said it several times. They do ghost tours or paranormal tours, and you can find everything on their website. And I don't know what their website looked like before, but it does not look like they're doing any screenings. They just have a section for those groups that have been doing this for more than 2 years. So I guess that considers you experienced. But yeah, so I think there was just some of that has just been kind of changed from what we saw before. And maybe it's we needed the drama because we don't know if we'll be back.
It
so
could be.
We needed that for ratings.
Maybe.
I can see that's why they let Brittany through.
Yeah.
Because that gives us all something to talk about. I mean, we sure did. And the chats online are sure talking about that. And so that garners some publicity for the show.
Yep.
And, all publicity is good publicity.
Yep.
So,
and that I'm sure that there was more than 13 reaches out for help.
Yes. Well, I have heard people on the Dead Files group say they came out, they met with me, we signed all the papers. And then when they started doing research on the house and the area, there was no deaths in the house. And so they said they didn't want to do it, which is ridiculous because it doesn't have to be a death in the house for there to be a ghost in the house.
Right. Wasn't that the Brittany one that we'll be talking about with our patrons and our happy hour? Wasn't that the one with the cemetery that was a half mile away? Yeah. And they're like, well, there's people who don't belong here.
Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't
ridiculous.
What does that even mean?
It doesn't make any sense. It was a real stretch, and that landed
It's a
flat,
cemetery. Where do you want them to be then? Where should they be?
Yeah. And the family that of the guy who it was like the wife died and then the husband and the kids moved out to California. Were they supposed to dig up her coffin and drag her with? Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
It was reaching. It was like Amy said, it was a stretch and not a good stretch. So
no.
It wasn't like a stretch Armstrong. It was like a really awkward date stretch where you're trying to put your arm around your date and she doesn't want it.
And she leans away. Or
he leans away.
And you're just like, it's just awkward all around.
Yeah.
So like I said, it wasn't a good, bad, or other, but I noticed I got myself in a little bit more of the cynical side of things.
Me too.
Like trying to look at things and I think because this was the first time really that, for you two as well, followed the entire season.
Yeah. We've never done that before. And we will never do that again, by the way. P.S.
Yeah. That was
if they
too
do
much
have
for
another
you.
season, not doing that again. No. Unless we decide to air it like a month after it airs, because that is not, because they don't record or they don't air until Thursday night. Yep. And then we don't record until
Sunday
at the earliest Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. And then that's not enough time to get everything done. All the shit that has to be done in between. So yeah. And if one of us is sick and we can't be at the recording, then the recording gets pushed out and then it gets pushed out again. So I don't want to have to adhere to that schedule.
That's too stressful.
Not doing that again. We can, if they come back, and that's a big if, and I do hope they come back. I do. I'm not being a Debbie Downer about, like I don't want them to come back. I do. And I have a feeling, like we've talked about before, that they're probably going to have to retool the show. And I already have a new medium, and I was talking to Greg about this, and he was like, yeah, they're going to have to retool. I think they should get a new cop. And I'm like, replace Steve. How do you replace Steve? And he goes, who do you think? And I'm like, I don't know.
Joe Kenda?
Yep.
Joe Kenda, I feel like, is too cynical for the show. I don't think he would.
I think Steve's pretty cynical too, but
I
but
think at least Kenda, Steve is open to it. I feel like Joe Kenda is not open to it at all.
I don't know anything about his spiritualness, but I mean, he would be hilarious on that show.
He would be, 'cause
he's
would-
hilarious on everything.
Yeah, he is.
And so is
But-
Steve in a different way. But that would certainly up their ratings if they could get Joe.
Sorry.
Lieutenant Joe Kenda.
And
Yeah.
I totally thought when you were saying that yesterday, because I forgot it was Joe Kenda, who is the one detective that we saw a couple times, the black woman.
Oh, Cheryl.
Cheryl Dorsey.
That's who I thought you were talking about. And I was like, that
With
would
the
be
beautiful
awesome.
gray hair.
Oh, yes. She would be amazing. Found her on Instagram, by the way. I'm following
Yeah,
her.
you
She
sent us
is
a picture. She's
a
gorgeous. Oh God.
She had those super cool earrings and stuff. I
Yes,
remember
she's
that.
so gorgeous.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And she wrote a book too.
Mm.
But yeah, Cheryl Dorsey, that would be great. I mean,
Yeah.
I do like Steve. I
Mm-hmm.
think Steve adds a lot to the show. I don't know that I would like him like he was my neighbor, but
No, I don't
but
think
I like
any
him
of
on the
us would
show.
like him in person.
I mean, I'm sure he's a good guy, but he's got some beliefs that would drive me insane. So
Mhm.
anyway, enough on that.
Yeah.
I think for the new season, we should put a big disclaimer that says this is a community of people who care about other people, LGBTQIA friendly, not
All race,
yeah.
creed, religion.
Yeah. And if you don't believe in that,
Beliefs.
don't even listen because you're going to hate us.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. That'll
Yep.
keep out the riffraff. We really don't get
Will
any
it
riffraff.
though? Or
Except
will
for
they
that one
just
that
come
didn't
in
like
and
us
try to-
talking. Okay. So on to best things.
So one
I
of
would,
mine
all
is
of
I
our
was
guests.
well, okay.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Sorry,
Amy. Oh. 1, 2, 3, everybody talk. Let's
Okay,
pretend like
well,
we're the View.
I was gonna say when I was still listening to the two of you at the beginning of last year, one of my favorite things was when you both got the follow trackers. And
Oh,
I remember, I think one of you was like, I don't know how to pronounce it, fallow. And then the other one goes, I think it's just follow.
That was
And it was
me
like-
and Amy. I was the one
Yeah.
who didn't pronounce it, and Amy was
I
like,
said
"You're
it.
an
I
idiot."
didn't
said
even-
follow, and she goes, "Oh, follow."
And because of the way
Ding,
it's
ding.
spelled, and I haven't looked at any of these, but I just remembered that, and just that like, well, that makes sense because we're tracking these animals.
Yeah.
Like, okay, got it.
Update on follow. They now have gorillas.
Do they?
Yep, they just
Ooh.
released gorillas this week. I got a barrage of text messages about it. So I'm trying to
think
see all the animals they have because they
my
have
one
dolphins.
penguin, let's just say her tracker fell off, and so I got another one.
Oh, good. What's her name? Because that was Regina.
Yeah, Regina was the first one. God, I don't remember her name. I don't even know if I still have
So
it on
you
this
can
phone.
do sea turtle, lion, shark, elephant, penguin, polar bear, giraffe, and dolphin. And gorillas are on there. I don't know why they're not.
Dolphin. I
thing.
don't think they had dolphins when I first started.
Yeah, dolphin and giraffe are new. And,
giraffe
and
too. Yeah, I don't
the
have it on my phone.
gorillas are new because I was getting text messages for them constantly this week. So
Cool.
Cool.
Maybe I'll get a
Yeah.
dolphin. Yeah, I just have a polar bear, a penguin, and a shark right now.
oh, that's right. You had the shark chum.
Walked into a bar.
Yeah.
Eddie, one of my sharks, has not been seen since September 23rd, but they're
Uh-oh.
not saying her tracker fell off, but I'm 99% sure it fell off because that's
Yeah.
almost 2 months now.
That's a long time.
Mhm.
So, but let's see. Poseidon was seen November 2nd. Babu was seen November 7th.
I had Babu.
Anchor was October 13th, Friday, October 13th. And
That's a
Chum
ways out.
was October 29th. Yeah. So, just waiting till they tell me there are no more, and then I'll get
Yeah.
Mm.
Give you another animal.
that I've already had or already do have, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they should know. They should be able to tell and not send you the same animal.
But whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
So they have gorillas,
Okay.
is what I wanted to say. I'm sorry, I totally took
Good.
us off track. Which
That was a
never
long way to say that,
happens.
but that's okay. We get paid by the minute.
That's
nice.
why our eps are so long.
Ours aren't even long compared to some of the ones I listen to.
I know.
Mhm.
That are like I love one group, and we've talked about them before, but their episodes are always 2 to 3 hours, and then they'll do multiple parts of that episode. I'm like, guys, I love them,
Theirs are
but
long.
and it gets hard to like I can't add any new podcasts into my list because I have all the ones to continue going with that are
Mhm.
already
Yeah.
I just gotta stick with the ones that I know that I like, and
Yeah.
I get kind of caught up, and then I don't have time to listen to them for a while, and then I'm like, golly, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you have to dedicate a weekend to just catch up to podcasts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Yep. There's only a few podcasts that I am totally caught up on. And that's because they have 20 to 30-minute episodes and I have it automatically download. And then I go, oh, look, a new criminal. And I listen to that night. And then I'm done.
Yeah.
There's maybe four that I have that I listen to consistently.
Yeah.
I was very caught up with Beautiful Anonymous. And then when we started getting so involved in this show, I didn't have time to listen as much as I did before. And now I am desperately behind, and with My Favorite Murder as well. Desperately behind. But
and I do like now with it. I didn't like it at first with My Favorite Murder when they would split episodes, but like I just listened to one that Karen did, and it was well done, and it was over an hour, and they're like, maybe we should just split this one because it was actually Karen did that, and George was like, mine is going to be a long one as well. So
I heard that one too. And I know there's something to be said with just release a 3-hour episode. Who cares? The consumer can cut it whenever they want and stop whenever they want and, finish and do something else. But the thing is, when I do that, I get out of sync and I get like, forget that I cut it off halfway through. And then I cut to my phone and I go, oh yeah, I don't have another hour right now. I just want to listen to something short and quick. So then I go off to another show and then I forget that I still have that one hanging out. And then by the time I get to it, I don't remember what's going on.
Yeah. So you have to listen to it again. And it's like, no.
Yeah. I'm the one, I'll stop wherever I'm at and then I'll just pick up again. And sometimes I have like 3 that I'm in the middle of, just depending on like, if I go for a run or something, there's only 2 podcasts that I typically listen to during that time because their sound is loud enough. Because there are certain ones that I can't, the sound isn't loud enough that I can't listen to it. Or if I take like the dogs outside or something and I can put it in my pocket and just let my phone sound be all the way up. Again, like My Favorite Murder and That's Why We Drink are 2 that the sound is high enough that I can listen to it that way and not lose or trail off.
Yeah. That's why I'm so worried about our sound. Why I want it to be good, because I want it to be. I remember when My Favorite Murder started, their sound was pretty shitty. And I didn't care. I didn't know podcasts very well. They were like the 3rd podcast I ever heard. And so
I think they were the first one. I think I started with My Favorite Murder.
They're the ones I started with.
I started with Serial.
Oh.
But I loved Serial. The first season, the Adnan Syed case, which I listened to that series of Serial 3 times. Because it's amazing. But pretty sure that My Favorite Murder was one of I think Criminal might have been my second one and then My Favorite Murder. But at first their sound was not great, but I didn't have that much to compare it to. I mean, I'm comparing it to 2 very highly produced ones. And I knew their sound wasn't great, but I'm like, they're just a couple girls doing this. It's fun. They're just friends doing it, whatever. I love it. And I love them. And then as they started to get better, then I went back and listened to the first one again. And I was like, oh, it was bad. It was pretty bad. But I mean, it's still a great show, but just the sound quality was not great. But they probably had it all IA enhanced by now. So it's probably fine if you go listen to it now. That's another thing I would like to do if we had like extended time off, is to go back and see if I can fix up any of those older episodes that might sound like doo-doo. But we'll see. Probably won't happen. I was thinking like, saying that we're taking some time off. We have actually already been off for 3 weeks. We haven't done anything in 3 weeks. So we've already had 3 weeks off. It just doesn't seem like it because we kept saying we're going to record. And then something would come up and we couldn't record and it kept getting pushed back. And so it feels like we've been working this whole time, but we really haven't. So yes, interviews, I think are a big highlight. We've loved everyone we've talked to.
Yes.
The clients are so great. Yeah. And
I wrote down, Leah, we had a real shaman, which was amazing. That was a big highlight for me. I loved it. And
she was so great.
just delightful
Yeah.
and so informative. And, you know, she welcomed all of our questions and
Mhm.
she was
Yeah.
just a gem.
Yeah. That was number 77. If anybody wants to go back, that was Leah, the shaman interview with the shaman.
Yep.
And then also Kirsten, the intuitive, who does drunk tarot readings.
Oh, yep.
She was a riot. She's number 78, if anyone wants to go back. But yeah, all the people that we've interviewed have been really, really fun. And
everyone. Tracy and Randy and Donalyn and
Annie.
Oh,
Annie was hilarious.
She was a hoot.
Yep.
She was so funny. And Donalyn and Tracy both have said that they would like to come back on the show, whether it's to interview or to just be another guest, or to fill in for somebody or something. So I'm totally up for that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
They were so sweet.
Yeah.
Everybody was. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think we had talked to one person after we got done. We were like, well, we're never talking to them again. They were just all delightful.
We've invited everybody back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
they
Travis,
were so sweet.
That was our last one. That was really fun to talk to Travis because he gave us a different perspective. Everybody else that we talked to about the Dead Files was a client. And so we got their perspective, and his is really different. And I wanted to, a sketch artist, right? Being a sketch artist, I wanted to, it was interesting to find out how they find sketch artists and how how that process works. So that was fun listening to that. So that was episode 90. If anybody
the one right before this one.
Yeah. And then our listener stories. I love doing those too.
Yeah.
Because first of all, much less work on our part. We just read stuff.
Yep.
But we've had some good guests that way too. Mary came in and told her UFO story.
Oh, she was such a
and when she starts it with,
her.
so I was working at a dildo factory.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait a minute. Back that up.
I love how she said it so like nonchalantly. Like somebody be like I was working at McDonald's, and she's like, I was working at the dildo factory, and boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy. Anyway, and then also Zoe came on to tell us some ghost stories, and then we also had
the shit out of you that you had a portal or
that was during our happy hour, I think.
Yeah.
She's like, Amy, I don't want to alarm you, but behind you, there's people coming in and out of your bathroom.
Yeah.
Because I was in the other room.
In the bar, yeah.
In the bar, yeah. And with my back to the bathroom door. And I'm like, what? Yeah. So there's a portal in there. And so I've been every 2 weeks. I don't do it religiously every 2 weeks, but I should say consistently. I don't do anything religiously.
No, you don't.
But consistently.
Much to the chagrin of your cousin.
I know.
And most of
she'll be fine. We don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I've been doing the with the incense around the corners of the windows, because if anyone doesnn't know, my bathroom down here, the portal bathroom, is windows. Mirrors. All the way. Mirrors. Sorry. Mirrors. I always say windows. It is windows to the soul.
I was like, I only remember one teeny tiny window.
There's a tiny window, but there's mirrors all over, including facing each other in the room. So
and that's a big no.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to do that.
Also, I'm still mad at Zoe for seeing that little girl too. Not a fan. Zoe, looking at you.
Yeah.
Not a fan of
trying
that.
to think of other ways that little girl could come into your life, and I
mean, the only thing I can really think of is John and I get divorced, and I meet somebody else who has a little girl
who has a daughter. That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but, that's the only. Because she's not coming for me, Zoe.
Not coming out of my body.
My uterus is closed.
Closed for business.
Well, speaking of all of that, I just saw Gordon Ramsay and his wife had their 6th child.
She's 6?
She's 49.
But he's only 56. I mean, it's not a big difference.
No, but I mean...
No, but that's old to be having babies.
That she's 49 and has a newborn now.
No.
Yep.
Well, I think their kids are old enough that they might be able to
have
help.
Like 4 are in their 20s, and then they have a 4 or 5 year olds, maybe 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there, and then this new one, Jesse James Ramsey. And just because they talked about Gordon several times in the past, so
yeah, Yeah, that 49's old to have a baby. I mean, people do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I certainly wouldn't take that chance. But
Oh, yeah, he's 57. He and his wife Tana have been married
Mhm.
since 1996.
Yep.
That is too many kids. Oh, they have twins.
Mhm.
Oh, and their oldest is Megan. Shout
oh,
out
look at that.
Megan. Yeah, that's
But-
too many kids.
Yeah, that's
6 kids. At 57, you're a father?
Well, he's already a father, so it's not like he's a brand new
again,
father.
a father
Yeah.
again.
okay.
But
But
like
we have some of those rock stars who are the old
Al
rockers who are in
Pacino.
their 70s having 70s and
Yeah. And
I
let's be real. These people are fucking rich.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They are not spending all day with their children. They have staff for
So
that.
what I do like about I've read some things with like Gordon Ramsay. He's like when they would travel, he and his wife would sit in first class, but his kids didn't because it's not their money.
I
And
like
so
that.
he said he would help them through through university and with a flat or whatever where they were going to stay, but they're not, just giving them all the money.
Mhm.
He's like, they still have to work for whatever it is that they want to do. And so because
Sounds
he
like Bill
is
Gates.
a self-made as well. So it's
Yeah.
like you don't gain the values, the same kind of values if it's always handed to you.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
that was the point. It was an article I read several years ago, but that was the point that he made. Maybe things have changed, but that was, like I said, several years ago. But
He seems very down to earth and
Mhm.
Yeah.
like not
He does.
like you know who I am type of a person.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I think
Oh.
I think it'd be so fun to meet him because I don't
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
he's the dick that they portray him to be.
I think that's a persona. I think
Yeah.
that's a thing
Yeah.
for TV.
because if you watch him on MasterChef Junior, it is the
Mhm.
sweetest thing
Yeah.
I've ever
Mhm.
seen. Like
Yeah.
kids will cry and he'll go over to their station and comfort them and he's like, I'm not
Aw.
leaving until you're done crying.
yeah,
Like
just
it's
kind
okay.
of coaches them
Just-
how to get through. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's
I know.
just so
I used to watch
sweet.
Top Chef Junior, and it made me cry when they would get kicked off. It was so sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the kids weren't even crying, but I'm crying. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know. I'm very emotional this weekend. I cried at Moana like 3 times. And then I cried at Frozen. I cried at Frozen.
Oh, I cried at Frozen. I haven't
but
seen Moana,
I'm just, I don't, oh my God, it's such a cute, but yeah. I don't know what, my period's not due. I don't know what's going on, but man, I was a bucket of tears on Friday night.
Little girl.
There's no way. It would be a miracle.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good.
Moving on.
I mean, not-
from the little girl.
Not that you may have a miracle, but
I don't know.
yeah. So I had noted too that recaps just they're still fun for me, but like we were saying, it's more fun when you really believe in the client.
Yes.
Like we still all believe, you guys out there, we all still believe that the hauntings are there. We believe the ghosts are there. We believe
Yes.
the clients when they
Yes.
say
We're not
they're getting cut to the
discrediting
neck
their
or whatever.
experiences. We're
Correct.
discrediting
believe
or
that.
going after the reason that they called the dead files.
Right.
Yes.
They're like, we're so scared. We need to get rid of the ghost. And then Cindy will say, so here's what you need to do to get rid of the ghost. And they're like, okay. And then they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, do things to make it worse. So
Or
they
they cry every 5 seconds.
with no tears.
You know who you are.
Yep.
It wasn't as genuine.
Yeah.
I felt like it wasn't as genuine this season, the later
Yeah.
part of the season. as
Yeah.
it
Not
has
everybody,
been.
but
Yep.
No, not everybody. And again, we're not discrediting their experiences. Like
No.
100% they happened.
right.
We're just discrediting the reason why they came
right.
on.
And I put down with the recap that the way that we did it changed a little bit from the way that you two had done it previously. And, so that everybody was kind of throwing in comments and thoughts
Mhm.
versus just one person going through the full recap
Yeah,
of everything.
And I don't think we'll go back to ever being like, so then Cindy walked into the room and
No.
then she said, because that's just, I mean, if you've
That's
seen
a lot
it,
of
you've seen the
work,
show,
too.
you
Yep.
don't, yeah,
And
it is a lot of work.
on our
But
end,
if
and
you've
especially
seen
for
the show-
Amy editing and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, like, because I was just listening to an older episode of ours and I was telling, this was before Amy joined, and I was telling Megan, I have to watch the show 3 times because
Yes.
I have to watch it once to see what it's all about and take a few notes. And then I have to watch it one more time to actually write down the notes, take screenshots,
Mhm.
and write down where the sound clips are
Mhm.
that we want to use. And then I have to watch it a third time on my computer so that I can stop and copy out the sound clips, like
Oh, yeah.
record the sound clips. And since we don't do sound clips really anymore, that's done.
Yeah.
And not having to, now I just watch it. I sometimes will watch it twice anyway, especially if we're going to record far away from when I watched it the first time.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a lot easier to do it this way. And I
Yeah.
think for the listener, it's got to be
Yeah.
Mhm.
fine because they've already seen the episode.
Yep.
They're not going to rely on us to tell them every
Or
single
if-
thing that happened in the episode.
And if they haven't, I think we covered the majority of things that it's like, oh yeah, now I do want to go watch that or see how that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I watch twice usually because I like to watch it once first without taking notes so that I can
Yeah.
pay attention to the whole
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
then the second time, but I usually like to try and get my mom to watch it because I love her
Yes.
take on
Yeah,
things too.
yes.
Especially we get that logic brain really coming in and
Especially medical stuff,
yes, especially on the medical stuff. And she's
like
like,
the paranormal diabetes.
that's why your
Well,
blood
that's the only
pressure is
episode.
high.
I mean, the only
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah, it's the only explanation.
Did you tell the hospital that it could be ghosts? Did you?
I didn't mention
should've.
that.
You should
Yeah.
have, yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
I've been watching a show and this woman had diabetes that was caused by the paranormal. So do you think that this is
Do you
paranormal?
think?
Yeah.
I will say, while I was in the hospital, I was standing in my room looking out the window, which is it was nighttime, so it's
Mhm.
basically a mirror
Mhm.
Yeah.
because they have a mirror on. Whatever, you can't see out
Hospitals
at
at night are so spooky.
I know. And so the whole wall is basically a mirror. And I was
Mm-hmm.
looking in the mirror and I was like, there's got to be ghosts in here.
Mhm.
Oh,
There's got to be
100%.
spirits in here. I mean, a hospital,
100.
yeah, a hospital's chock full of them. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't see or hear a damn thing.
Dang it.
Oh, well.
I mean,
Well, and you say hospitals are creepy at nighttime. My mom was an ICU nurse for decades and worked the overnight shift.
She got stories, I bet.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. We'll see if
we
we
should
can
have
get
your
her to
mom
tell
on
any.
as a guest.
I'll see if
Yes,
I can
we
get her to tell
should.
any of them.
That would be awesome. Even if they're not paranormal, just overnight
Mm-hmm.
hospital
Mhm.
stories.
Because she did float to the ER at times.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
She
ER's
floated?
a weird place. She floated. She's the ghost.
She's the ghost.
We all float down here.
Yeah. I was thinking one thing that, Eddie had sent us an email and said you could recap, and he mentioned a few horror movies. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
not any of those.
No, I
So
don't
one
watch
thing I
horror
was thinking
movies.
we could do in the future, and I'll cut this if you don't think it's a good idea, but if Megan ever needs to take time off, Amy and I could discuss all the Mike Flanagan.
Yes.
that we
I
love.
love those shows.
So
Who's Mike Flanagan?
he's the Fall of the House of Usher and Haunting of Bly House and
Oh,
Bly
all that.
Manor, Hill House.
Bly Manor,
Midnight
Hill House.
Mass,
Mm.
Midnight Club.
Midnight Club.
Hush.
all the scary shows that I won't
Yeah.
ever be watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're so
Uh,
good.
Amy, have you been watching Goosebumps?
No, not yet.
Watch it.
Okay.
Watch it. If you have Disney Plus,
Gonna
I'd
do that
watch it on
today.
there because
I
then it
do.
doesn't have you don't have the commercials.
Yeah. Oh, we have Disney Plus with commercials, but that's okay.
Okay.
I still have to see the Haunted Mansion too. I haven't watched that yet.
I watched The Haunted Mansion again and I still really like it. I know there's a lot of people who didn't like it, but I don't know what people's expectations are when they go into things. And I usually just go in with the expectation to be entertained. And as long as I can follow the story and I think it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to win awards. I don't plan
No,
for
but-
most of the movies
No.
I watch are not going to be the ones that win awards
Mhm.
because
Right.
most of the ones that win all of those awards are boring.
Yeah.
And they also pay for it.
Yes, they do. It's not
Way.
usually a surprise.
So I have in my notes of positive things, bringing AP on now that we're on
Yeah.
that.
Obviously.
That was a good move. We're having a
Yes.
lot of fun.
Yes.
We love the logic brain. And,
Yep.
And all the fun facts she brings
Yep.
and
Yep.
Just
much
try to help everyone out in trivia in the future.
delightful addition to the podcast,
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Thanks.
And our
ladies.
listeners have said so as well. So
Yes.
we're glad to have you, Amy.
And anybody who doesn't agree cannot listen. That's great. You don't have to write me.
Go back and listen to the first year.
Yeah, there you go.
I also noted that I just started making a list of the names that we have for that ghost hunter that we love so well. Bilbo Baggy Jeans. And then at one point, Megan, you called him Bagel Bites.
Yep, because I got that from Emin and That's Why We Drink. They call him Bagel Bites.
Okay.
Yep, the whole community does.
Yep.
Okay.
I did not coin that phrase.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
I
didn't know
stole
that.
it from.
And then in the Dead Files chat a couple days ago, Shannon, who is in that chat and is our new patron, she called him Douchebaggins.
Which is by far
which
my
I
favorite.
thought was hilarious.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And accurate.
And accurate. Very accurate. Yeah, I told Greg that and he's like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
It is really good. So thanks, Shannon, for that gem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be using that. We'll give you credit.
Yeah.
A couple funny moments I had written down. The Sharky McGraw. Do you remember Sharky McGraw? That was episode 70.
Yes. Oh, yep.
It was when I made it into an audiogram. I will put that in the splice that in. And also probably my favorite, and the moment that I still laugh when I think about it is the dongle.
Yes.
I don't know what happened, you guys. I really don't. Like, for a second, I forgot that there were other people around.
That's exactly what it looked like, too.
Exactly. It was
what happened.
Priceless.
Oh,
I loved it.
That was so good. Yeah, I just wrote down like some of the slip ups and things that we've done that just make us laugh, or like wait, what?
Yeah,
that's what that is. I mean, I did love our directions one.
Oh,
directions?
North south.
Oh,
Yep.
and the north south.
You go south north.
Cool.
You guys, how are you not understanding this?
You go south
up
off
the
a
hill to the north, and you come down the hill.
It's south north.
Yeah,
obviously, you idiots. I'm not the idiot here.
No. That was a really fun recording session. We did it here in my office.
Isn't that the one with Brittany?
Yes. We did 2 episodes back to back.
That was really fun.
And we had a blast and we laughed a lot. And then the next day I went to edit it and I'm like, holy hell.
Yeah, it was real bad.
It was pretty
Amy
bad.
brought some delicious dip.
Yes.
Good.
AP brought some pimento cheese dip.
And then I brought some caramel because that was our birthday recording.
Oh, that's right. That was our birthday.
Apple pie caramel thing. Apple crisp.
Yeah. Apple crisp. That's what it was. That's the word.
That's the phrase. There we go.
And that reminds me, AP gave me that day a bottle of Whistler, the Whistler, which is a like Bailey's sort of
Irish cream.
She gave me actual chocolate Bailey's, which I have tried, and it is delightful. I think I had it not this weekend, but last weekend, because I just had a really stressful day for some reason. I'm like, I'm gonna get some fucking Bailey's.
Yeah, why not?
I drank it out of my Hallmark mug that my friend Kaylin bought me, and it said my name on it, and it says this is my Hallmark movies mug.
Oh, nice.
It was delicious. It was so good.
I drank some. I didn't drink any last night, but Friday night I had some. I just mixed it with soda on ice, and it's really good.
Interesting.
I mean, I like it by itself too, but I would drink that entire bottle in one sitting, and then I'd wake up and be 400 pounds and diabetic.
Yeah.
But
but so the only explanation for that would be paranormal. So
exactly.
I don't know why you're linking those two together.
That was one of the things that I wrote down was our new catchphrases and how they came about. And that one came about from one of the episodes that we watched. Well,
it was a bar. It was they were going,
and the bar closed. Yeah. And it was the woman with the
failing
diabetes and heart conditions and the trips and falls in the restaurant, because no way that it could be the rugs.
Uneven road or uneven steps or the rug.
That sounds like my grandpa, who will just say, well, my shoes, it's my shoes, or it's my slippers. It's the reason why he tripped and fell, and not because he wasn't using his walker.
Yeah. My mom does the exact same thing.
She's exhausting. She's a gem and delightful, but
she is exhausting.
Based on what you said, like the stories you've said.
Yeah. She's
unique.
She's a little bit of work. That episode, by the way, was number 86 hours.
Mhm.
And I don't remember what it was called. No, it was just called The Only Explanation, I believe.
And she got diabetes, and she said, well, it's from
Mhm.
paranormal.
Mhm.
The
I
only
didn't have it
explanation is
before.
paranormal. Yeah.
What type 2
Could it be
diabetes
your
is?
diet or your, and we don't know her diet, but I'm just saying common reasons that people get diabetes is diet or lifestyle. It couldn't be any of those.
No.
Paranormal.
That's paranormal.
So now anytime anything happens, either on the podcast or in life, we'll text the group and we'll be like, it's paranormal. That's
The only
literally
explanation.
The only explanation. Yeah.
You have no money in your checking account. The ghost stole it.
Yeah. That's what's
Obviously.
going on with my mom, I bet.
Yep.
It's not that she's buying fake
Candy by the
sushi from
truckload.
some lady doctor on TV. No, it's because of the paranormal.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. She saw some lady doctor on TV, and that was going to give her some, doctor in quotes, that was going to give her some, or was selling something to eat that would help with, let's just say, regularity.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so she got online and wanted to know how much it was. And then when she found out how much it was, she said she didn't want it. And then they charged her anyway. And it's a reoccurring fee of $147. I don't know how often it reoccurs, but I found it on her bank account, and I Googled the company, and it is a place that sells plant-based sushi. There's no way in the fucking world that my mother would eat anything that was even called sushi. So I don't know what happened there, but I kept saying,
what
how did they
helps
get
with-
your card?
Yeah. She put it in.
How did she gave it to him.
Oh my God.
She's saying she didn't, but she did. She had to have.
She had
How
to.
else would they get it?
Yeah.
You know what helps with regularity? Apples or pears.
Yeah. Well, we went to her doctor. I told you the whole story about
Lots
the
of-
corn and everything.
Lots of pea fruits
Yeah.
help with regularity.
Okay.
Sweet potatoes, pears,
She likes sweet potatoes.
Those things all have fiber.
fiber.
Yeah,
Fiber.
It's fiber. It's fiber that she needs. Her doctor told her she has to eat fiber, and she has to stop eating sugar. So I'm over at her house. I take her grocery shopping after Walgreens. I take her grocery shopping. And first of all, she's like, this store's too big. I can't possibly walk all the way. I'm like, great. As soon as you get tired, just find a bench and I'll take your list and I'll go get everything else and meet you at the front door. So she's fine, but she wants to stop every 2 seconds and look at everything. Well, look at all that over there. I'm like, Mom, keep moving. Let's go. So
She is
we finally
legit a
get to-
toddler.
She is a toddler. We get to the store or to the checkout. She wants to pay with a $50 Lyn's gift card. I'm like, perfect. This can't be much more than that. So I give the card to the lady, and it had $1.01 on it.
Mm.
Oh.
So she's already used it.
Sure.
And she's like, no, this is a brand new card. And so the lady very nicely calls over the manager, and the manager goes, no, there's $1.01 on it. And because my mom fucked her bank account, she has no money.
Right.
So she's trying to pay for it with the ones that are in her pocket, in her
Oh
purse.
my God.
I just took my card out. And I just told her, I was like, I'm going to just pay for it. And so she's like, no, your daughter's paying for it. And she's like, what? No, she's not. I'm like, Mom, just let it go. You can pay me back later. It's fine. Because she always wants to pay me back.
Mhm.
Right.
And so it was like $60. No big deal. So then we get to her apartment. I'm unloading all the stuff. And I had been looking at her bank account. And that's why I saw this fake sushi thing in her bank account. And I also see one day she spent $89 on groceries at Lyn's.
Uh-huh.
And this was all online. She orders everything online. $89 one day. 2 days later, $147.
What?
How much food is she eating?
She's one
She
person.
eats nothing. She doesn't
Yeah.
even eat. So I said, Mom, that is more than Greg and I spend in 2 weeks.
Yes.
How are you spending that much in 3 days? What are you buying? I don't know. Are you sure that's me? I don't remember that. So anyway, I get to her apartment. I'm unloading all her stuff. I see the receipt from the $147 Lyn's order. And I only see the last 2 pages. The last full page is completely candy.
Oh my
Snickers.
God.
Milky Way, blah, blah, blah. Candy. And the page before that is mostly candy, but some cookies as well. And then I think there was bread.
Variety. She's got to have variety.
She got
Can't
bread.
get her sugar from
So,
one thing.
Yeah. So then I go and I
my
look,
God.
and her dining room table is full of candy. It's just candy. And I started to take a picture of it, but she came out of the bathroom and she would have caught me, so I didn't. But So that's why.
It's almost like if she's doing it online, it's almost like she just put stuff into her cart and then didn't know how to take stuff out of her cart. So it's just like, well, I guess I'm getting it all now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I do with
Jeepers.
Temu. I just put everything in my cart and then I get to the end and I'm like, I'll just take out all the stuff I don't really want or really need.
And then you never
Then my
do.
bill is like $17 and I'm like, fuck it, I'll just buy it all. So yeah, that's what's fun about having a toddler mother. And then we're
Well-
walking to her place and she goes, she can't walk fast, right? And I'm
Right.
carrying the groceries, so I'm going to get there a little quicker. And she goes, I can't go that fast. I said, that's fine. Don't bother. I'll just wait for you at the elevators. And she goes, pretend like I'm 2. And I'm like, Mom, I've been pretending like you're 2 all day. And I said, if you were 2, you'd be in a stroller.
Mm-hmm.
If you were 2, I would have picked you up because it would have been faster than this.
Exactly.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't sound all that different from my grandpa on some things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I can relate. And actually, I'm smelling. I have making taco meat up to make enchiladas for the game
Mhm.
and stuff, and so I had to pull some stuff aside to make some for my grandpa because he can't do spice at all.
Mhm.
Right.
So yeah,
Sounds like my mom.
so I go and I have found
look at my
the way
mom.
that I like to do enchiladas is heat up refried beans and then mix all the meat into that and then put that
Oh.
in it. So it kind of holds it together a little bit. It's a
Yeah.
little like the chili cheese burritos, if you remember those from Taco
So-
Bell, like the good ones.
So
Mhm.
I'm going to be over in Vadnais Heights later. What time should I stop over? And would you like
to
me
get some
bring
of these
any?
delicious
To get these enchiladas?
Well, and here's what I'm planning to do because I made these.
I feel like it's going to make me want them more.
something like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna do them dry.
She's gonna put cheese all over the top, right?
So I'm gonna put some sauce inside of them, and then
Uh-huh.
so that they get a little bit harder top as they
Mhm.
bake.
Mhm.
And then I have some queso dip that we
Mhm.
bought a little bit ago, and so I'm going to heat that up and then pour that over the top and bake it a little bit
Ah.
longer.
Listen, I've met
That
your
sounds
mom.
delicious.
I think she likes me. I think it'd be fine if I came over.
Not if you're wearing that shirt.
I'll put a sweatshirt over. I'm a delight, Amy.
They're not playing the Packers today, are they?
No,
No,
Oh,
but
no,
they
we play
just don't like
Saints
the
today.
Packers.
No.
okay.
The Saints have the shittiest fans. I saw a Saints
I've
game
heard
in
that.
New
Eagles?
Orleans.
Oh,
And my ex-husband and I went to New Orleans, and we went to the Saints game, and the Saints fans were terrible. They were awful. They like threw things at us because my ex-husband was wearing his Titans jersey. They yelled at, like, they were just dicks.
The Eagles fans, when I
Yeah,
listen to
they're
like
bad.
I listen to the radio station and like they'll say even when they go for broadcasting, like they don't wear Vikings gear into the stadium. They don't, like they don't associate because you will get heckled,
Mhm,
pushed,
mhm.
lots of things.
It's
they
just-
have the Eagles stadium has a jail on site.
That's really bad.
oh my God. This
At
is
least
part of why
that's
I
a
don't like
rumor that I've
sports ball.
heard.
It's because of the
Right.
fans.
But yes, enchiladas will be delicious and they have venison in it. So beef and venison.
Another point in the Megan should go to Amy and eat her enchiladas column
Yeah.
is I've never had good venison before.
Oh,
I will happily make you good venison anytime. If you want to, because ground, you can put it into anything that you would put beef and you just really don't have much of a flavor difference. The
Yeah.
coloration of the meat is darker.
so you wouldn't even
Anyways.
notice if it's got like salsa in it or whatever.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, just saying.
Okay.
Sounds
Well,
delightful.
everybody, thanks for joining us for our new podcast all about food.
All about
Yes.
food and why Megan wants to go
Can
eat
I
at Amy's.
can I tell you guys one cool thing though, really quick?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I know you guys aren't
obviously.
hunters, but my brother
I hunt a
harvested
good deal.
his first deer in a while last week
Really?
with a 121-year-old rifle.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
The
that's
rifle
cool.
is a model. It's a Winchester model 1892. It was built in
Wow.
1902.
Wow.
The
Wow.
last time it harvested a deer or was shot was like 1961.
Where did he
Holy
get it from?
buckets.
So it was somebody that my dad worked with, it was or not worked with, worked out with, and my brother worked out with him too. And my brother used to work as a mover. So if you ever need moving help, my brother,
Oh,
he knows,
good to know.
he knows lots of good stuff.
Lots of movers and shakers.
Yes. And so he was helping move just a couple items for this guy who himself was in his early 80s at this point. And he just really liked my brother. He doesn't hunt. No, but nobody in his family hunts, but this rifle had been in his family. And so he gave it to my brother as his payment. And
I love that.
And, you know, because he knows that we hunt and all this stuff. So like, and so my brother's like, are you sure? I can't do that, once he saw what the rifle is. And they're like, yep, nope, this is yours. You will appreciate it, versus when I go and it just gets left and sold to somebody somewhere else. So he took it in to get it cleaned and get it cleaned up to be able to use it, to see if it was still usable. It was in great condition, because the best thing that the person who had it, what they didn't do was they didn't clean it after the last time they fired it. So the powder from the casings went into the rifling of the barrel and kept it from rusting.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Who would have thought the bonus would be not cleaning something?
Right. But yeah, so just something really cool. Like it's a piece of history. It was something, you know, and for those that are curious, my family, we have a very good safe. We grew up with it. We've, you know, something that is, you know, we've all gone through firearm safety and, but yeah, I was very excited for him. And, but yeah, it was the first one he had gotten in a long time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And a Winchester. That whole Winchester story is a real trip too.
Yes.
That
Winchester
is trippy and a half.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't know it, go look it up. It is.
Yeah.
Because isn't that the one where she just had to keep building the house?
Yep. Yes, because somebody played on her emotions.
Yeah. It was a fake psychic or something, wasn't it?
Constantly under construction until she died.
Yep.
It never stopped. Yeah. Look it up.
Yeah. So, I've been there to the Winchester Mystery House.
Oh, cool.
I didn't see any ghosts, but it was really cool. Beautiful house.
I'm sure.
I usually don't see them. So I guess that doesn't mean they weren't there. It's just I didn't see anything. Just like at the hospital.
Yes.
All right. So everybody, thank you. And thank you for listening this whole season, and have a great holiday season. And please, as Amy P mentioned an episode or two ago, we would love your holiday stories.
Yes.
And whether they're paranormal or not, just a funny drunk uncle story is fine too. Just send us your holiday stories. And then if we have time between now and the next season, maybe we'll sit down and read a few of them for you guys.
I'll offer up traditions.
I was just going to say, like,
is there
fun
a tradition
traditions
that your family does that you like to share with others? Because traditions only continue if we pass them down, and new traditions start because we decide we want to do something. So
right. And a lot of people don't have we don't have anything special that we do that my family growing up did, but I think it would be fun to, you know, maybe there'll be something I'd want to try and implement into my family. So yeah, that's a great idea.
And Megan, a book I think that you would really like, Amy, I think you'd like it too, but it's called The Autobiography of Santa Claus.
Oh, that's so adorable.
So it's a chapter book, but it is one that goes through the history of Christmas, but it talks about, you know, so St. Nicholas, you know, raised Catholic St. Nicholas, it talks about his whole story, and then it talks about how he just lives on and where he gets his helpers. Attila the Hun is potentially one of his helpers, because like just different things. But then it also talks about, like, you know, the calendar back then and the calendar now, they're not the same. And so we don't know the dates of things that happened 2000 years ago. But then it goes through and tells you, like, where some of the different traditions came from.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
Cool. That does sound fun. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody. Like Amy said, have a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah. And we'll see you in January, if not sooner.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of The Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when The Activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds Podcast Network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.
What's up, witches?
Hi, I'm Claudia.
And I'm Jess.
And welcome to True Crime Coven. So I'm Claudia and I bring the true crime content. I aim to make it ethical and inclusive and as much of a safe space as possible.
And I'm Jess and I bring the ghost stories and the cryptid stories, and I like to present them in the form of a sandwich. So we go ghost story, cryptid story, and finish up with a slice of ghost story bread.
And it's always delicious. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, then search True Crime Coven wherever you get your podcasts. And just remember to stay safe and stay spooky.